Hi everyone, and welcome to the World of Warcraft survival guide for the Shadowlands pre-expansion patch. Or at least, some of it. Like, I'm gonna tell you about all of it, but don't ask me when you're gonna be able to play all of it because no one knows. So, okay, what have we got? We've got class changes, and this is great. I was playing on my shaman the other day, and something happened that made me think, yeah, I'd really like there to be some serious class changes on this character, so that's good. You can play with those. Not here though. This is a Shadowlands zone. I don't know when you can go there. Ian, do you know?
Okay, so we're not going to be able to tell you that, no.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Makes sense. Oh, okay. These are the Scourge invasions. They're awesome, and you'll be able to play these eventually when they go live, and obviously no one knows when that'll be. And don't forget the quests, which are totally finished and ready to go, but you know, obviously we're not ready to go, but as soon as we're ready to go, then we'll let you know, and then yeah, go wild. That's some more Shadowlands zones, just ignore those, they've got nothing to do with the pre-patch. Okay, well, that's the patch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to go to the barbershop and spunk into a cave. Wait, did I read that right?
Knowledge is power.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, Taliesin Evitel's Wondrous Wisdom Show, in a week where, in a way, Shadowlands is here? I mean, the Shadowlands pre-patch launches this week, bringing with it loads of the new stuff in Shadowlands, and maybe more importantly, loads of stuff from BFA is going away. Like, seriously, forever though. So I think it's fair to say that Shadowlands is here now, right? From Tuesday, all of your corruption worries go out of the window. You can finally stop saving for the long boy, because, you know, unlucky, sorry. And you can instead log in with your one-way ticket to new expansion fun times and enjoy everything that the pre-patch has to offer. And by everything, obviously I mean a little bit, because the whole Shadowlands being delayed thing has unfortunately had a far-reaching impact. And one of the knock-on effects of the uncertain expansion release is that we now have an uncertain pre-patch rollout. So, that pre-patch Scourge Invasion event, not coming with this week's launch. The narrative story missions and awesome baller in-game cinematic, not coming with this week's launch. Or at least, not the cinematic that evidently plays at the beginning of the questing anyway. Because if I've learned anything in the past few years covering World of Warcraft news, it is to never write off the possibility of a surprise cinematic dropping just for lols. Usually a few minutes after we've released a video where we wonder out loud when the next cinematic is going to be dropping. All of that is coming later, and I get the feeling we'll know exactly when about 15 minutes after Blizzard do. What we do get to keep us going though is arguably better than any of that, because we get the level squish, meaning that your level 120 characters will wake up on Tuesday at level 50, ready to adventure their way to the new level cap of 60 when Shadowlands launches. Whenever that is, no one knows. And so likewise, your level 60 characters will wake up at level 25. Your level 86 characters will be, I don't know, some number between 25 and 50, who cares? We'll also be living in a bright and exciting new world of leveling to go along with our squished numbers. New starting area Exile's Reach will be live. The new Chromie Time Choose Your Leveling expansion system, which, yeah, is really called Time Walking, but which everyone will always call Chromie Time forever anyway, will be live. All the new class changes will be live, ready to be tested by players and nerfed by Blizzard. The smorgasbord of new character customization options will be live too, at the character create screen or any in-game barbershop. So basically, solid hours more fun content than a few quests taking us through Icecrown. But you do sense that the narrative direction that will be missing with those quests is something that might lead a lot of players to declare this pre-patch underwhelming in the first week. And they're probably not wrong. The blame for that, of course, like I say, lays with the delayed and as yet unresolved release date of the expansion, as Blizzard decided that they needed more time for tuning and polish, and as a result, all eyes have been on the PTR and beta this last week to see what they actually mean by that. I can confirm my eyes were among those eyes, and the devs have been very busy with their adjustments. And Okay, look, I get it's a weird time right now because they are essentially getting ready for 2 big releases. The pre-patch this week with all the squishy stuff and leveling stuff and shit class change stuff, which is an absolute monster. And then, you know, later on, Shadowlands with all the Covenant stuff and endgame Soulbind, Conduit, and Covenant ability tuning, which is like a monster which got hungry and ate a whole bunch of other monsters and is now essentially multiple combined monsters. There have been some genuinely really promising changes and work going on. Of course there has, but also a parade of what can only be described as what the f*** moments too. And look, I'm not trying to be outragey or clickbaity or over the top about this, okay? Because the what the f*** moments aren't anything too awful when all is said and done, but they all just really make you go, what the f***? Okay, so take for example, Chromie Time leveling. Pretty important feature that will be live by the time many of you watch this video. You might remember last week we reported on how, when a character hits level 50, an actual 60-second timer appears on the screen and force teleports you to your faction capital to start on current Shadowlands content, which is obviously stupid at any point, but is extra stupid at the moment because Shadowlands content doesn't even exist yet. Well, this week, Blizzard did a really good thing. They allowed experience gains to be manually disabled in Chromie Time leveling to allow you to finish questing in your chosen zone or expansion at an appropriate difficulty before moving on. And that is good work. Nice one. I mean, the weird force boot thing is still there once you hit 50, which is all kinds of horrible clunky if you ask me. But okay, Blizz obviously feel like they want it there. They've given us a way to mitigate it. It's fine. Kind of awesome. They've been making constant progress on class changes and tuning too. Notably, Hunter's Mark got removed for Hunters this week, which is just really good news. Okay, true. So there's no way that there won't be more tuning throughout the pre-patch and all the way up to and probably into the expansion itself. But it does go to show that it's happening. So yeah, good work, Blizz. Have a biscuit. No, Ian, put that down. That's a Jaffa cake, and those are cakes, not biscuits. I don't care what anyone says. Man, we're on a roll here. What else? Blizzard introduced another rule this week that disabled Covenant abilities in non-Shadowlands zones or content, meaning that your Venthia, Door of Shadows, or even more tragically, your Ardenweald Soul Shape ability, which allows 100% uptime in any rest area, would be unusable anywhere but the Shadowlands zones and instances, including all current arenas, themselves. Frankly, pissing on the Cathedral Square glowing blue fox party before it even began. And yeah, it's really easy to explain that decision from a lore and gameplay point of view. And I don't love it, but as I said at the time, I was pretty sure this change was one that would be reverted before Shadowlands ever saw the light of day. So I didn't mourn those furries too much. And that was a view that honestly pretty much summed up the forums too, where players were pretty philosophical about the whole thing, accepting that, to be honest, maybe having a bunch of blue glowing animal spirits running around Azeroth would be a bit difficult to explain lore-wise, and thematically, it does kind of make sense that the power bestowed onto us by our Shadowlands buddies only works in the Shadowlands. And fine, it would have been handy for running old content, but when all's said and done, it was a what the f show, obviously. Bruh, why? Really stupid and utterly pointless. What are you doing, Blizzard? Why? Fun police have spoken. No! And look, I'm not even making fun of these comments. I mean, I am, clearly, but I'm not really disagreeing with them. Sylvanas used her Covenant ability outside of the Shadowlands, why can't I? But really, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be a big deal. As a player, the actual gameplay element of this change isn't what worried me. As a player, it's more like it makes me think, what did you think the reaction would be exactly, Blizz? Because obviously this was never actually going to happen because of that guaranteed and I think in principle justified community reaction. And lo and behold, hours later, Ian put out a blue post saying that they were reverting it. And good, yeah, but I don't know, it all just felt like a bit of a waste of time, really, didn't it? At a time when Shadowlands is quite literally on borrowed time. But whatever, you can't be winning all the time. What's next? Ah, yes, Blizzard introduced a handy skip for Oats at the beginning of their Covenant journey. which is itself a big skip. First time through, players have to complete the storyline and questing before hitting max level and picking a covenant and then progressing it at endgame. Alts, though, get to join and progress a covenant as soon as they are in Oribos at level 50. But now, with this extra skip, they don't even have to bother with the introductions or the quests that you'd usually do before unlocking Soulbinds and the mission table and other things, which is another really cool convenience feature. And yeah, nice one, Blizz. That's really neat. I can almost believe that leveling Oats is going to be as easy as you say it is. I mean, I'll wait to see how Torghast and the Maw and Legendaries and Conduits turn out before I'm really convinced, but at the very least, I believe that you are genuine in wanting it to be easier. And that's great. Ooh, and we got an announcement that experience would be changed in Ardenweald and Revendreth, where some players have been reporting occasional problems with questing alone, not giving enough experience to get them to a high enough level to continue the quest chain. Yeah, I know, sitting over here crying in Burning Crusade, I know. More good work, have a gold star. Not only that though, Blizz also tackled a big problem looming in Shadowlands endgame: Conduits. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh man, Talia is going to talk about Conduits being the biggest worry in Shadowlands for seriously like the 50th week in a row. But you're wrong, because it won't be the 50th week in a row, because we haven't done an episode every week for the last 50 weeks, because sometimes we're lazy and sometimes we're giving birth and stuff. So yeah, your statement is inaccurate. But otherwise, yeah, every episode we have done, it feels like we've talked about Conduits. And yeah, we are going to do that now, fine. You remember that reset long cooldown on swapping out the Conduits from a Soulbind? We talked about it last week. The thing that I said needs to go and eat shit? Blizzard made it go and eat shit. Introducing in its place a new charge system where you've got like 10 charges of conduit energy, and swapping out one conduit will use up one charge, and they recharge at a rate of 1 per day, so that you keep that friction of not being able to swap out conduits completely freely and on the fly. But overall, the system is a lot more user-friendly and expressive, and expression was a theme when players talked about this on the forums, where posters expressed their genuine, sheer, unbridled joy that the one rest cooldown was eating shit. And okay, so whereas not everyone agreed that this new system was perfect, what could be agreed on, respectfully and with some optimism, was that this was overall what the f*** show, obviously. Nope, this is stupid. This is the same annoying shit, but less annoying. What kind of fished up logic is this? Here we go to Nutella Wow again. I don't know what that comment means. Like, I think it's a criticism. I'm pretty sure it's not praise, but I actually don't understand it, sorry. Which is fitting though, because it accurately sums up most reactions to the new Conduit power system. And look, I genuinely understand Blizzard's desire here to have a thing which isn't like the free swapping spec differently for every fight talent system, or the ha, sucks to be you, you made your choice, now live with it, of the Covenant abilities, but instead somewhere in between those two. Both those things already exist. They want Conduits to be different, and an element of friction in changing them is, I think, a worthy aim, even if I don't think this is quite how to do it. But it is definitely leaps and bounds better than the cooldown, which I don't know if I mentioned this ever, but that cooldown could go and eat shit. If the system were to go live just like this, I think it would be absolutely fine. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Taliesin, I'm a druid, and limited conduit changing currency like that is more punishing on a 4-spec class like me than, say, a demon hunter. And you would be right, except Blizz have actually been really clever with druids, because what they've done is they've just made it so no one would ever play Balance or Feral this expansion, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I think overall, it's probably unfair to put this in the what the f*** section, because it is such a big improvement. It's just, you know, when I hear the awesome news that Blizz have fixed the thing that I don't like, and then I hear about the new conduit power and how it recharges and stuff, it's kind of like when I say, hey Evitel, I'm taking you away for a romantic weekend to the Bath Hotel. And don't worry Evitel, because I know the sign says no vacancies, but I promise there are always vacancies at the Bath Hotel for some reason. Oh, and okay, speaking of conduits, Blizz have changed Soulbinds across the board so that each individual tree now only contains 2 potency conduits, down from 3. It's long been recognised that for all the talk of Covenant abilities and Soulbinds, those Potency Conduits are probably where the real power is going to lie in Shadowlands. And Blizzard's assertion that this change will make the Conduits more flexible might actually be true. Not only does it mean that you are inevitably going to be using one more of the much more utility-friendly Endurance or Finesse Conduit slots, but those Conduits tend to be universal to class, whereas Potency Conduits are usually spec-specific, which means, in theory, less need to swap Conduits out when you change specialization, or at least you should need to swap out fewer. And let's not beat around the bush, it's probably going to be easier for Blizzard to balance in the long run too, but I think this is a good change. Finesse and Endurance Conduits tend to have effects that you notice using a bit more than Potency ones, and I think there's probably more fun as well as balance to be had here now, so well done, Blizz. Have a second helping of well done pie for that one, and also for your recent blue on Legendaries, where it's clarified that at the moment the devs consider Shadowlands' curious crafted oranges, the working towards of which is arguably the main endgame power progression goal next to progressing your Covenant renown to unlock Soulbind rows, are generally undertuned, and that in coming builds they will be beefing them up a bit. This is a good call too, I think. Aside from the obviously massively overtuned candidates like Akari's Soul Fragment and Soulforge Embers, which seem to have new, even more hilariously harsh nerfs applied to them in every single build right now. One of the main criticisms of many of these new legendaries has been that, in the worst cases, the effects kind of feel like glorified Azerite traits, and I don't need to tell you, internet, no one wants Azerite traits on anything, but especially not on their awesome looking new legendary item which they've spent a month grinding for. Best case scenario, this will allow more choice between which legendaries you're actually going to want to craft and equip for your characters, as hopefully more become competitive and desirable. At the very least, maybe Soulforge Embers can be buffed back up again a bit, because shooting a flare over your tar pit to ignite the enemies inside is outrageous, and everyone should be able to take it if they want, because it's brilliant though. Look, if you do, Blizz, I'll give you another gold star, like I'll put this change in the well done great work category. What do you say about that? Wow, this is going great. What else? Oh yeah! They nerfed water. Yeah, they nerfed water, so that now when you start drinking water, it begins at a slower rate of mana replenishment for the first couple of seconds, and then rises to the flat higher rate of mana replenishment after that for the rest of your sesh. And, you know, what the f***? What a stupid change! Announcement after announcement, I can only shake my head. I just want to know who thought of this idea. This seems unnecessary and highly resentful toward the player base. More drinking equals more time subscribed. And yeah, I know that last one's a joke, but I liked it, so it made it in the show. But still, what the f***? Apparently, this is how it works in Arena to dick with healers, I guess. Something that I didn't actually know, even though I played loads of Arena last expansion and got my hippo. Because, yeah, like I've ever sat down to drink water in an arena, every match I play is just a frantic 2 minutes of me mashing every button I can until either their team is dead or my team is dead, and then we queue for the next one. And if anyone gives me shit for dying, I just say, yeah, well, why did you let the druid get a CC off then? And that's usually fine. But to have it across the board, like even in PvE where the proper players play, fine if you like, Blizz, but why do you like? I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't even mind, except for the fact that's literally the opposite to how drinking works in real life. IRL, when I'm thirsty because I'm out of mana or I've just eaten a curry, and I whip out a nice refreshing glass of water or beer, then the first mouthful is always the biggest one. Then I usually take a moment to go, ah, that's great, I needed that. And then I continue at a much more civilized pace from then on. So it's not about the fact that it's going to be marginally more annoying to get mana back in Mythic Plus that's bothering me here, Blizz. It's the inaccurate representation of the act of imbibing fluids. Like, seriously, what the f***? Like, haven't you ever drunk beer? I mean water before, Blizz? What's going on here? Again, it's not really a big deal. At the moment, it just means everyone is going to be chowing down on Dark Moon sugar-coated fish feast, which was always the best mana food or drink anyway, but is now even better since this change, because being a food, it's not impacted by this change. And of course, being a food, you can drink as well at the same time that you're chowing down. It takes between a minute and a minute and a half to farm the 5 Dark Moon fish you need for one feast, and in Mythic Plus, you can pop the feast down, eat from it before a pull, and then eat from it again before heading off to the next pull, so often you get 2 portions out of it anyway. And yeah, maybe they'll change this too, but they haven't at the time of writing, and it kind of makes you think, well, it's even more pointless changing the water then, isn't it? So yeah, An up and down week, which frankly has got me very tired and very ready for pre-patch. I feel that some of the wheels of this expansion need to be in motion and rolling now for us to be able to better gauge and appreciate the changes that are happening all the time in the beta, because make no mistake, I still genuinely think that Shadowlands is going to be a cracking expansion. It's got potential to be right up there with the best, and all of this noise that creators like me are making to fill the void left by the delay and the not knowing of release dates and schedules, a lot of the time it's informative noise, sometimes it's very funny and handsome noise, but it is often exaggerated noise. And it's fun to make jokes and poke fun, but I just want to make it clear that I am incredibly excited for so much of the stuff in this expansion. I can't wait to finally dip our toes in officially with pre-patch, and I think I speak for many of us when I say thank f***. If you need me, you can find me at the transmog NPC, giving my Fury Warrior dual-wielding flails, or my rep pally, the awesome Resto Hammer. It's gonna be so baller.
I would like to sincerely apologise for the lack of Evitel in this video today, except for her voice at the very beginning. Did you hear it, or did you think it was Josh Law? It was her doing her an amazing impression, but unfortunately, she just wasn't up to being in this episode today. We kind of were a little bit late and we sort of missed our slot, and then she just wasn't feeling particularly well. You know how things are when there's little babies around. That's our little baby, not her or me. The actual little baby. I'm sorry for you, but mostly sorry for me, because it means that I have to come on and do the bit with both of us, but with only me, and that's quite lonely, just so you know. But I don't have a choice, because I have to announce the winners of the HyperX bundle giveaway thing. We've asked you for the last couple of videos now to tweet at us with a screenshot of your character in World of Warcraft getting ready to join the covenant of their choice come Shadowlands. Evitel picked the winners, so if you don't like them, please blame her, but I think you're gonna like them. And here they are. One winner for each covenant, remember, and for Kyrian, that winner is Crimson 37 BTS. Repainting the Halls of Valor, a very fitting Shadowlands white there, and it's awesome. I think this one might actually be my favourite of the lot. The winner for the Necrolord Covenant is Isaac Broadbent for his invisible... invisible? Drakaz in it as well. The Night Fae Ardenweald winner is Matt Gennaro, regarding the reflections of the Emerald Dream, because, you know, it's like Ardenweald's a reflection of the Emerald. Well, we thought it was clever, okay? And the Revendreth Venthyr winner is Ablaus, for a collection of screenshots organised into a cool comic. It's within the rules, we like it, it wins. Congratulations, all four of you. We will be contacting you shortly after this video goes live to get all your details, and we will be sending you all of the amazing HyperX winnings. Congratulations! And now, I guess, from me, Taliesin, and BFA, our time is done. Yet another expansion comes to a close here on the weekly reset as we get ready for Shadowlands proper. As you can imagine, we're just trying to put the finishing touches to our class guide videos, which will be coming out now. Those have taken a while because there have been more changes leading up to the PTR than usual this expansion. And of course, we're going to be streaming on our Twitch channel from now right up until the opening of Shadowlands and beyond, so join us there. But thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank me, thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our videos happen. Guys, thank you, because without you, there would be a whole lot less Taliesin Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Evitel of Taliesin Evitel, blame her. No, my name is Taliesin from me and Evitel and the Nyrin too. Until next time, cheerio.